What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. Again, it'll be the first of two videos you'll get this evening. The first video, this one, will be the one we're going to discuss Mohamed Salah and his current situation at the football club. What are the reasons for his drop-off? Is there a drop-off? And what should we do around the situation? Do we look to maybe sell him in the summer? Or is that an absolute overreaction? I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm well aware this is a very delicate video to make, but you know one thing about our channel is we do have the conversations that need to be had and the conversations that are topical amongst the Liverpool fan base. So I'm going to try back up what I have to say tonight with some stats. Those stats were taken from an Athletic article that James Pearce wrote in conjunction with another author. So I will be backing it up with statistics that are pretty valid. And then it's over to you to make your mind up. As always, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Please do drop a like on the video, and if you haven't already subscribed, well, you know what to do. So look, let me start off by saying we all love Mo. We all absolutely idolise him. That should be the starting point for this conversation for me. But just because we idolise and love somebody, and this applies to any Liverpool player and the manager, doesn't mean that we can't be critical or can't find certain faults or attributes that we think are falling off. And it is our right, our job, our viewpoint to say these things and to discuss them. It doesn't mean we hate them. It doesn't mean we want them gone. So can we push aside those petty replies for 1 second and just look at it from hopefully a bit of a statistical standpoint and certainly an opinion-aided standpoint and see what we can come up with. So let's look at where we are with Mohamed Salah right now. And I think we will all agree that it's not just Mo that has dropped off. It has been the entire team that has dropped off. And that's clearly evident. And that, of course, does form part of the reasoning why we've seen a drop-off from Mohamed Salah. But it doesn't help when you've just signed a £350,000 a week contract. And I think it's fair to say that during those negotiations, it did have an impact on the club. It was a major talking point for a long time. It took up a lot of Jurgen Klopp's press conferences. And Willie or won't he was something that was going around for ages. And I have to be honest, the whole thing did leave a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth because, yes, I understand that he deserves to be paid as the top footballers in the world are. But in order to get those wages, you had to have played a certain way to deserve them, which he did. But since he signed that contract, for whatever the reason might be, he has started to drop off. As I said, in conjunction with the rest of the team. But let's look at it a different way. So taking this article from The Athletic and just taking a couple of bits and pieces from it, they do say that Mohamed Salah's goal has dropped off. This season, he scored just 7 Premier League goals compared to 15 at the halfway point of the Premier League campaign a year ago. Again, that in itself is open to debate, I guess. We haven't scored as many goals, I would suggest. We haven't been creating as many opportunities, and certainly we've had some of the starting 11 or some of the newer additions to the squad ruled out. It's been no help to Mo that Darwin hasn't been available for some games, that Diaz and Jota have been out for a while, and certainly he hasn't had Bobby Firmino and Mane, who previously made space and created areas for Mohamed Salah to be more clinical. But when you look at his XG, that's where it does start to get a little bit interesting to me. So Salah's 23 top-flight goals in 2021 came at a rate of a goal every 120 minutes. This season, he's averaging a league goal every 241 minutes, so it's taken him twice as long to score a goal this season as it did in previous campaign. Also, if you look at Mohamed Salah's goal output after 19 games of the past few seasons, 17-18 he had 15 goals, 18-19 12 goals, 19-20 11, 20-21 13, 21-22 15, and this season it's just 7, the only single-digit number that Mohamed Salah has racked up in the Premier League. Now, I know that there are people who are going to say that he's done numbers in the Champions League, and he absolutely has, and we're very grateful for that. But if you look at the argument that Mohamed Salah has been played in a different position or out of position or far wider, I think that The Athletic have put together quite an interesting piece that actually shows per game, per 90 minutes, he's had less touches on the wing. Now, that could be because we've just had less attacks in games. It could be because of the positional thing. It could be for a whole host of reasons. But all of these things together with the last part that I'm going to bring to you now, which is his expected goals. So whether you want to argue that the team isn't performing or whatever, the expected goals is where there is no debate for me. It is where it is clearly evident that Mohamed Salah has dropped off. So he has an expected XG so far this season of 9 goals in the Premier League, and as we've just pointed out, he's only scored 7. So no matter what way you look at it, he's scoring less than he is expected to score. And I don't know about you guys, but I think it is fair that Liverpool fans start to question why that is. Is he dropping off? Is he not the player he once was? And for me, in my own conclusion to all of this, I've said yes, Mohamed Salah has dropped off and Mohamed Salah isn't the same player that he once was. But that's also the reason why I've been saying for the longest time, I'd like to see him played centrally. I'd like to see us give him a chance to reinvent himself. But it didn't surprise me when I heard the rumours, and they are just rumours, that Liverpool may look to sell Mohamed Salah in the summer, and Paris Saint-Germain were a name that were mentioned, and it was a Calcio Mercato article, so take it with a huge pinch of salt. But it doesn't help when you see Mohamed Salah sitting down at a table with the president of PSG. Now, these could be for any reasons. It could be a friendly chat, it could be business stuff, it could be business stuff non-related to football, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help in how he is perceived, and it doesn't help in his case, in my opinion. So I said to you at the start of this video that the whole will he or won't he contract saga left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, because it felt at times, to me, and this is just my opinion, that Mohamed Salah is more interested in brand Salah than the good of the team. Now, again, that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate him, doesn't mean I don't love the man, but I just do feel like there is a little more calculation to what Mohamed Salah does. And that's, again, neither right nor wrong. It's just, you know, my view of it. But I've always got the feeling that there may be a next chapter for Mo in his career. And we were very happy, obviously, when he signed his new contract at the club, and we hope he goes on to break records. But I just don't think he's done himself many favours with some of the PR stuff. And that photograph sitting there with the president of PSG, for me, was entirely unnecessary. And if you add to this his agent or his legal representative, Remy Abbas, who has been quite simply a bit of a dope. He's been a bit of a fool in the way that he's conducted his stuff on Twitter, in the way that he's mocked the club at times. It hasn't gone down well with many of us. And I think it's okay to say this. It doesn't mean that we don't love the man. And I promise you, because I know where this is going, some people always try to make out like there is some type of racial or religious or some type of bias undertone to anybody who dares to criticise Mo. That couldn't be further from the truth. Our football club is a fully inclusive club, and all of us absolutely love Mohamed Salah. But that doesn't mean he's infallible. It doesn't mean that we can't have these conversations around the drop-off. So I guess to summarise this video, and to kind of get to where I want your opinion, if an offer was to come in the summer of around 70 to 80 million pound, do you think it is something that Liverpool should consider? Or do you think it is maybe the pathway being laid for some of the Jude Bellingham money or some of the funding of the summer transfer window from FSG? Because let's not forget, in previous windows, when Liverpool have spent big, a lot of the time we have had to sell to buy. So I wonder, is this all just part of the transfer dance? For me, I hope that I sit here at the end of the season and we talk about it being a blip in Mohamed Salah's campaign. So I'm absolutely willing to hold my own judgment until he has Diaz, Jota, Firmino, everybody else around him, and the team starts to perform better. And if he still hasn't performed by the end of the season, then myself, I think I would be open to exploring a Mohamed Salah sale if his numbers do not improve, because we simply cannot be carrying passengers. And when you are demanding money and being paid money at the very top, so he wants to be up there with the Mbappes, the Ronaldos, the Messis of this world, you've got to be doing their numbers. You've got to be producing as much as they produce if you want to be in that conversation. And that's where I think the drop-off has come. He's still probably way above average and way above what other Premier League players can do, but he isn't setting the world alight like he used to. The reason for that? I guess that will become apparent over time. But I want to know your thoughts, my friends, in the comment section. And again, I look forward to reading them. Thank you very much for your time as always. And there will be a transfer video coming up in the next few hours as well. So do keep an eye out for that. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.